Good evening, everybody. So Michael reached out this evening with a comment on YouTube asking about the trustworthiness of MagnaCut and 3V leaving the shop and how we feel good about it. Really, it's just all about our redundant inspection through our processing here, but then we've tested a various amount of different samples to feel good about what is or isn't leaving the shop. We have a very, very low failure rate. I think in 10 years, we've still on less than 2 hands, I can count our warranty failures. And that's due to just a lot of inspection along the way. Functionally out here, there's 3 of us in the actual machine shop area, plus Ellie with some of the different assembly and different things, but we're 100% inspecting everything at every step of the way. We don't want to push what we think are bad parts through production. So when parts come out of the sheets, they look something like this. And right off the bat, we'll be looking for anything that looks out of the ordinary. And I'll keep an eye on it in preheat treat grinding here. So that's our first step. So I'll be looking at stuff. If there's anything like super weird in the sheet, I just won't mess with it. It's just I'm wasting my time. So I'll just pick that out early on. So from here to here, that's what the part will look like next with preheat treat grinding. So we'll get the mill scale and all that stuff off and get it down just over nominal. I shoot for like right around 5 thousandths, 5.5 thousandths over nominal so that we have some extra cleanup tolerance for flattening and making sure we have a really good finish post heat treat with our other grinding wheels. So I'll be looking at anything that looks weird in the part from there. And again, if I see a void or something like that, it just gets picked out. If there's anything that's going to cause us a headache later, it just gets picked out really early on so we're not putting more time into it. Even anything that's just a little weird, we might put an X or something on it. Just if it had a weird kink or something in it, we want to keep an eye on it post heat treat. So we'll just scribe a little X down in here where we'll clean it up on side 1 on bevel grinding if everything is fine. So any obvious defects go away right here or there. And then the next step after that is preheat treat machining. So this has a few extra scratches because we flat plate all the little burrs and stuff off, but this is what it looks like after here, and then we do our machining steps before heat treating. So again, if there's anything that looks weird, Mike or Matt will pick that out over here, and it'll just get picked out. So that's the next step. So then they'll go to heat treat, and they'll come back looking like this. They get a little heat treat patina on them there, but all in all, really nice looking parts. But then again, we'll look for anything that's, weird, out of flat, something that might have happened in heat treat, or if there's a bubble like you saw in some of those email videos, that's indicating there's some sort of problem, and we'll pick that out. And I just want to investigate what's going on because they should come back flat. Everything should be normal coming back from heat treat. So once they come back from heat treat, like I said, they're right around 5.5 thou over nominal. So we'll do any flattening if necessary, and then we'll do a pre-finish grinding, which will bring it down just over nominal. So it'll look like this with our more coarse wheel. And again, we're inspecting the parts while they're on the Blanchard grinder. So if I see a big void or something like that, I'm just going to pick it out. So then we have that step, and then after that, we have finish grinding. So that'll take it from that finish there down to a much finer, higher level of finish, where you can see my phone in there. So again, we'll be inspecting the parts as we take that last thou off of there and making sure there's nothing weird looking. And then after that, we'll do our bevel grinding. We do all of our bevel grinding in the hardened condition. So, we sometimes see a little void or something in the MagnaCut down there. And if it's too low into the bevel or there's a couple, that's telling me there might be something else going on. So if it's just minor, it'll be a factory second where it's up in a non-structural area. It's not as, in a stressful situation. I'll let that out as a factory second. But then I've got that 2 on there that gives me a higher level of traceability just in case there is something that might happen. Because I never know what's going on inside the part. I can only know what I see with my eyes. So if it's down in a stressful area and I don't feel good about it, we just set it aside and it'll go in the scrap bin. So then from here, we'll go into the peening area where we do that light compressive peen. That's just a low pressure blast with a special kind of media. There's nothing crazy about it. But since it's a spherical peening media, it will put a light compressive stress into the surface there, and that increases the durability of the part, gives it better fatigue resistance, reduces any chance of crack propagation just due to any little grind lines or possible fractures and stuff from heat treat. That none of that should happen, but it helps with all of that. We've also found that it does help a little bit with corrosion resistance and the rust's ability to bite down into the surface. So after it goes through that step, then we'll stone wash it and inspect it again. And then we're going to use, was it 20760? This is done, buddy, whoever you are. I just brought it over here as a prop. So then you have a finished knife, and you should feel good about that, because we've got lots of different steps here where we're inspecting at every step. 100% of the parts get inspected at every step of the way, and then we arrive here. So at this point, we've got a finished knife, and I know that I didn't see anything. There's just nothing anomalous that's catching my eye where we just didn't feel good about it. And anything that I do let out, we've done a lot of abuse testing, abusive cutting, twisting, things like that, to make sure that it's up to our standard of durability. If it's really minor, like I said, it'll have a little 2 on the back just to indicate it's a second. But most of our factory seconds anymore, especially the if it's not MagnaCut, we'll just have a zinger through the bevel or something, or just a slightly mismatched bevel or something like that. But I would also like to point out that while I do see a minor void or something in 3V, it is nothing like the MagnaCut situation. I think that's just like a low density area sometimes in 3V, but that's mostly been very reliable outside of just an annoying little pocket of nothing here and there. But the MagnaCut specifically is a different kind of void situation, as you can see in some of my other videos. But again, that has nothing to do with our peening process. You can see in the emails we've seen this void situation from pre-heat treat grinding, post-heat treat grinding, all the things. And the peening step is just a last chance to find a little pocket or something. If it blows out and reveals something that was like really deep into the sheet, then I don't really feel good about letting that out of there if it's down in like a thinner cross section, because what I've been seeing is they're like longer stringers through the part, and if it's down in a low stress or in a high stress area, I just don't feel good about letting that out. If it's going to be subjected to a lot of stresses, I don't want to put anything out that I believe could fail, so we just hold it back. So that's a huge part of the reason we're just moving to some of these 3rd gen particle steels. I'll show you guys when we get back into finishing that I've seen 0 defects in like 1,300 parts now. It's just been very clean, homogeneous steel, and you can see it in how it responds in heat treat, the flatness. There's just no irregularities in the parts, and they grind really uniformly, and of course those edges are just terrifying. So all of that is indicating to me that this is a really high quality alloy. It responds to heat treat well, it's stable, it finishes consistently, it's very, very predictable on tooling. So that's the direction we're moving. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with MagnaCut or 3V, it's just not up to our quality standards. So I hope that answers your question, Michael, and thanks so much for the good question. And we'll talk to you again soon, all right?